Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You are listening to Al Mubarak Radio and also watching live on our website as well. Welcome on to Al Mubarak Radio with myself, Mr. Al Mubarak, and our special guest who has traveled all the way from Cambridge, mashallah, Mr. Awkash, making his third appearance, I think, on our Al Mubarak Radio. A big jazakumullah khair to Mr. Awkash. This program, mashallah, is officially sponsored and partnered by Interpal. And also, mashallah, I would like to mention to all of our listeners as well, if you're listening on the local receivers 454.650 or even on the apps, and also on our website www.almubarakradio.com. Brothers and sisters, mashallah, we are alhamdulillah live right now, and Brother Awkash is our guest, and I would like to say jazakallah khair to him and welcome him on to our show. So assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Walaikum assalam.
Brother Awkash, how are you?
Pretty good, thanks. Yourself?
From the last time I saw you, you're looking much younger, I have to say.
Oh, thanks.
What's the secret?
I don't know, to be honest. Maybe not going to the gym.
Is that the secret? Not going to the gym? So I think I'll have to try, mashallah, that ingredient, or I would say remedy. So not going to the gym. So anybody who's out there wants to look young, healthy, then that's the secret. Do not go to the gym. Right. Okay. There we go. So, mashallah, you're in Yorkshire again, mashallah. The last time I think we saw you was a couple of months ago.
31st of March, yeah.
Subhanallah, you even remember the date.
Always remember the date.
The 31st of March.
Yes.
And we're into the month of May now.
Yeah.
And shortly, in around 38 days' time, we're also going to be into the month of Ramadan.
Yeah, time's just gone so quickly.
It's flying,
yeah.
isn't it? Because you came also in the month of Ramadan.
Yeah, that's when I debuted, I think, when I was 16.
Yes,
that
and
was
that was
July the 22nd, 2013, I think.
Subhanallah, that's the day of my anniversary. See, that's the only date I cannot forget.
All right, see, neither can I now.
See, that July 22nd, I cannot forget that. If I forget, I get into big trouble.
I can imagine, yeah.
Right. Anyway, brothers and sisters listening, mashallah, Brother Awkash, I'm sure you've all heard him before. From 31st of March, I mean, you gave us an update of everything you're doing around poetry, and you have a lot of passion for poetry. So let's just slightly go back. For anybody who hasn't obviously heard you before, from a young age, I believe you have been into poetry.
Yeah, it all started when I was 15, and I've spoken about Muhammad Ali many times on the show. He inspired me to, pursue a career in poetry. Of course, he wasn't known for his poetry, although he wrote some great poems. He's, of course, very famous for his boxing ability and his humanitarian work. But he really inspired me to, give poetry a go and sort of just be the best that I can become. And one thing led to another, and before I knew it, I was on Al Mubarak.
Subhanallah, there we go. Right, okay. So anyway, anything new that you have come up with, whilst you've been away, around poetry?
Yeah, I've been writing a bit, but mainly I've been just so busy with the whole publicity side of things and university as well. I just did my last exam at Kingston University, and now I'm on British Muslim TV tomorrow. I have a photo shoot for a suits company on Thursday, and then I'm visiting a school in North London on Friday to give a talk to their young children. So I'm so busy, I haven't really had the time to write, but as soon as I get the chance, I'll definitely be back into it. But at the moment, I'm just can't really make the time.
So you've just finished your exams. That must have been stressful.
Yeah, it was stressful, and the annoying thing is that although I finished the exam, I've still got a lot of coursework and assessments to do. So yeah,
so
I'm
you've
very
not
occupied.
finished your uni work at the moment.
Unfortunately, not. No.
So when do you actually break up for your uni?
Around, I think, mid-June is when I'll be hopefully completely sorted out and have done all my work.
So just before Ramadan then?
Yeah, just before, yeah.
So you'll have a nice Ramadan. Will you be coming in Ramadan, by the way?
Oh, definitely, yeah, of course.
You
as long as I'm invited, I'll be coming.
No, definitely, you've already got an invitation.
Perfect,
and
I'll be
you
here.
can come on the kids show.
Yeah.
And that will be around 3:30 till 5:30.
Yeah, I'd love
2
to,
hours
yeah.
we can spend with the children. We can do a show around
Yeah,
poetry
definitely.
that day.
I confirm that booking on air. Yeah,
so
definitely.
inshallah, we would love to have you in Ramadan. So that will keep our yearly program. So we can see you growing up every single year. Inshallah. So mashallah, you've got 3 beautiful books in front of me as well. is this all your new work, which is
This book, which is called Men of Words, is actually, I think this was the first book which featured on your station. It's
Ji, ji.
in 2013, and it's the compilation of the top 10 male poets in the country,
Okay.
regardless of age that is. And these two are actually new compilations, which I've just featured in this year.
Okay.
And yeah, it's just a random collection of poets who have written poetry on various different topics.
Subhanallah. So, I mean, like I asked you this last time as well, that, what makes you just write poetry?
It's it's the rewards I get for it. I'm very fortunate being in the position that I'm in. Being published, I can make radio appearances, make television appearances, and knowing that by writing poetry, I can do all that and pursue all those dreams and have a voice on a public level. Is what really motivates me and keeps me writing. So, it's nice to be on a platform where I can express my views on such a vast audience. It really does mean a lot, and I guess that's what keeps me motivated.
And I mean, does your family really support you in doing all of this?
I hope so. I'd like to think so.
I mean, do they push you? I mean, that you have to,
No, my
keep
parents,
going.
give me a lot of freedom. They want me to just be happy with what I do, whether it's with education, whether it's to be doing poetry. As long as I'm happy and content and going towards something, they're happy. Yeah.
Yes. So you're basically doing something rather than doing nothing.
Exactly.
So at least your parents know right now, you're away from home, you're here in the studio,
Yeah.
so they know that you're busy in
Yes.
wanting to do whatever you're happy
Yeah.
doing as well. And like you say, you keep yourself busy. I mean, this is
Yeah.
something very good. And I mean, you're at a very young age of what, 17?
18.
Or 18.
Yeah.
Subhanallah. So you're only 18 years old and you're making, television appearances, you're making radio, appearances,
Yeah.
you're going to schools as well. I mean, how does it take, I mean, to youngsters? Do they really take to what you have to say, around poetry?
Of course, I tend to get a quite positive reception. I think it's because usually when a class has a visitor, usually the visitors double or triple their age, but the children in their minds, they know that in 2-3 years time they're going to be the age that I am.
Yes.
So that sort of really gives them something to reflect on, and I'd like to think they enjoy it. I've never had any troubles with any students, and yeah, I have a good time, and I hope they have a good time too as well.
Of course, it's all about enjoying what you do. And Alhamdulillah, this is a nice little inspirational message we can give to all the youngsters out there. And I'm sure even now, Akash, right now it's the time of exams. When students are in also exams.
Yeah.
I mean, like yourself, I mean, you have kind of two sides where you have to obviously concentrate on your studies, as well as you have to obviously wherever you are booked up in events, or if your schools, or the radios and the TVs, you also have to do that. I mean, how do you kind of mix the two?
I mean, it is difficult, of course, especially with television, radio, as you know yourself. Live, it's very spontaneous. You'd get a call straight away saying, "Could you come down now?" It's not like I have 3 weeks advance bookings. So of course that does make it difficult. But I can live without much sleep. Some people need the 8 hours sleep. They need to be on a deadline. They need to wake up at a certain time, sleep at a certain time, be in bed at a certain time. Whereas because I'm very relaxed in that aspect of my life, I'm able to manipulate my work and
So
make everything organized and keep everything on track.
Right. So you work around.
Yeah, I work around.
Around basically. And do you have a manager or anybody to like take, like do all your admin
I
work?
am my manager.
So you manage yourself basically.
At the moment, yeah, I'm managing myself. Of course, my publisher always, books me in for anything if they can. And also because I've been on so many schools, there's a lot of head teachers call other schools and book me in. So I have, you could say, part-time managers, but in terms of having a fixed management team at the moment, I don't really have that. But as long as everything's going to plan, I'm happy as it is.
There we go. Anybody out there who's into poetry can also, like message in to our show. And even if you're just tuned in the local areas in Batley as well, or Dewsbury, and also if you're listening around, anywhere in the country or even abroad, you can also just give us a message on our WhatsApp. Which is 07868476577. That's 07868476577. Or anybody who would like to just say call in and just talk to Awkash, ask him a question. You may just be into poetry or you want some advice regarding poetry, then call into our studio number which is 01924 4727776. That's 01924 4727776. Subhanallah. Right. Okay. We have a few messages that are already in. There's a family listening around the Batley car area. There we go. And also, there's somebody listening around the Batley area as well. There's a few people listening from the Lancashire areas. One message which came from Preston, and also one message which came from Blackburn as well. So, mashallah, Lancashire, Yorkshire is listening. And if there are people listening, just give us a little message so we know here as well that I'm not just talking to Awkash and he's talking back to me. Otherwise,
Yeah.
we can go in the other room and talk,
of
you know.
course.
But this is the way radio is, you know,
Yeah.
alhamdulillah, interaction is very, very important. And, you know, I always stress out on my shows. And alhamdulillah, there we go. We've got another listener saying, I think they've done a very quick type.
Yeah.
So, salas listening,
Yeah.
meaning salams listening, jazakallah. I understand what you mean. And also another message there from Batley Car again. Jazakumullah khair. Keep your messages coming in. We've got Awkash here, mashallah, who's a very young poet. Awkash, you know, you for this time as well, because now, you know, this is like home, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think you've made any more appearances than Al Mubarak Radio. So, you know, you can, inshallah, feel free to also, you know, to put something in towards the show.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, if anybody has any questions to
Ji.
ask me, please, ask me. Don't be shy. And yeah, just as you said, interaction is very important. Whether it's radio, television, it's nice to have that the audience and the host or the guest have a bit of common ground.
Right. Okay. There we go. Awkash. Okay. Talk about these new books. I think that would be something very, very good because you did show me a book last time.
Yeah.
Regarding, I think it was this one, isn't it?
Yes.
Last
Men
time.
of Words
So
2013.
these two are the new books.
Yes.
Right. And one is called, which I'm going to hold up, is Poetry for All.
Yeah.
Okay. And you know, your poetry is also
Yeah, there's a
written in
poem
there.
featured in there. Yeah.
Right, and it's featured. So how does this work? You go to the publisher or the publisher comes to you?
Well, now I'm fortunate enough that the publisher comes to me. I don't really have to pursue anything in regards to the publishing side of things.
Right.
But when I started, it's a story I tell everyone. I think I might have mentioned it on the show before, but I got in touch with 137 publishers before finally being accepted by United Press.
All right.
137 publishers from around the world: Poland, USA, Nigeria, every country in the world. I sent my work off, and I got rejected 137 times.
Right.
And then when I was 15, just before attending my first ever GCSE exam, I was given an offer by United Press to have my first book published. And yeah, I remember the relief that gave me. And now I've alhamdulillah reached a level where I don't really have to pursue that sort of stuff, and they get in touch with me. But these are all published by United Press.
So how often would they get in touch with you?
Sometimes it can be twice a week. Sometimes it might just be once a month. I'm published in 90. I just received a contract offer, I think last week. It's still at home. I just need to put my signature on it. I've been too busy, making appearances. I've been able to send it back, but it's my 19th book now that will be, and I just need to send the contract back. And yeah,
19th book.
19th book that'll be featured in. Yeah.
And you're only what, 18?
18 years. So yeah, I've eclipsed my age.
Yes, you've reached your age. Well, you've overdone your age. So just think, in another few years, I mean, by this rate, I mean, you will have how many books published? It'll be going into probably double, triple figures.
I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah, and these books obviously are worldwide, obviously.
Yeah. Out of the 19 books, I think 5 are worldwide, and the other 14 are national, so full UK.
Okay.
So, yeah, and 4 are worldwide. Yeah.
So you get recognition throughout the United Kingdom, of course.
Yeah.
But also you get recognition outside the United Kingdom.
Yeah, I think it's USA and Western Europe mainly.
All right. And do they have something like an annual event or something?
Yeah, they have an annual event. They have a poetry diary which comes out every year, and it has the top 52 poets of the year, one for each week of the year for their diary. And I featured on that, I think, 4 years in a row now, which I believe, I'm not sure, it's not certain yet, but I've had a few people tell me is actually a record for the publisher, having got the same person in the book 4 times in a row. So yeah, so I'm on there regularly.
So how does it work? You send everybody who's obviously a poet?
Yeah.
They will send their poetry in. And
Yeah.
do they kind of pick so many out, or how does that work?
Yeah, it's not picked at random. It's picked on
Right.
based on the quality of the work.
Right.
And so, yeah, when I was 15, I was saying that's what I had to do. I had to submit my work, add a CV, tell them
Right.
why I want to get published, what my dreams are, what my ambitions are, send them 3 to 4 different poems. And I think for each book, they get about 60,000 submissions. And out of the 60,000 submissions, they pick the best 52. So, fortunately, I was
So
fortunate
out
enough
of
to be
60,000, they
Yeah.
only pick 52.
Yes, 52, yeah.
And you got picked out of the 60,000. I mean, that
Yeah.
is amazing then.
And then out of the 52, they then pick the top 10 for the top 10 compilation book, which
Right.
I was also fortunate enough to be in.
All right. So out of that, so this, I mean, come on, anybody who's listening out there. All right, we've got a few messages here. We've got a call coming in. Assalamu alaikum. Who's calling?
I'm Kiba.
Your name?
Kiba.
And where are you calling from?
Huddersfield.
From?
Huddersfield.
Huddersfield, mashallah.
That's very,
And are you listening to the program right now?
Yeah.
she better be.
Yeah, well.
All right, okay, mashallah. And is this your family who's?
Yeah, I think I recognize. Yes, my cousin.
Acha, it's your cousin. I mean, what's the name again?
Fizza.
Fiza. Okay, Fiza. Can you tell us something about Awkash that we don't already know?
She's gonna embarrass me now.
I actually would have to think. There's not really anything I can think of straight off my head.
Right. Firstly, let me ask you. I mean, how does it make you feel when Awkash is either on television or radio?
Oh yeah.
How does that make you feel?
We're extremely proud. We're always following him, finding out what he's doing. Sometimes he keeps something secret, and we find out in the last minute. But it's always like good stuff.
That's excellent. So you always surprise them,
Yeah, always. Yeah, I like.
Tries, yeah.
right? But they always eventually find out as
Yeah,
well.
they do. I don't know what it is. I think it's like the FBI. They just find out.
There we go. Also, I mean, your family, part of them are from Huddersfield.
Yeah.
Subhanallah. So, Fiza, come on, tell us something that what you see in your cousin, okay, Awkash, that we don't already know about.
Am I still on air? Hello?
Yep.
Yeah, live
All right,
on air.
it went silent.
Yeah.
Something that you didn't know.
Yes.
Okay, well, when we were kids and we used to play together, something that you didn't know was we once tried to sell Yu-Gi-Oh cards in the streets of Cambridge.
Try to sell what?
Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
We were to go to the shops. We thought, well, instead of asking our parents cards, it's like a card game.
Yeah.
And we had quite a pack of them, so we thought, why not sell them to random strangers on the street? And then with the money we get from it, we can then buy.
They were quite popular when we were kids.
Right. Okay. So those are childhood memories, and Awkash, from when you were children to when you are now, do you think has he changed, or has fame changed Awkash in any way?
No, I keep him humble.
You're saying keep it humble. That's very, very good to know, because fame can get to people and very quickly, especially at a young age. And he is a very handsome, young looking man. I'm sure he gets a lot of attention as well.
Yeah, no, we don't allow for him. He wouldn't be allowed to be egotistical or something like that. We'd humble him.
Yes, not only humble him, but also keep him on the ground with a slipper as well, I'm sure. with his mummy and daddy, I'm sure, as well, listening as well. Right. Anyway, Jazakallah for your call. Would you like to say anything more?
No, I just wanted to call and just have a word with him.
There you go.
How are you doing?
Okay, there you
I'm
go.
doing well, thanks.
So what would you say? Are you his number one fan?
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely, there you go. You're number one fan there. Okay, that's what you need from family, don't you? And friends, to be your number one fan. Well, anyway, Fiza, Jazakumullah khair for your call. And inshallah, keep listening, inshallah.
Yep, inshallah.
Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum. There we go. Call in. That's the way we like it, don't we, Akash? I mean, a bit. I mean, that is interaction,
Yeah.
and especially that's something somebody who knows you as well. Even if somebody who doesn't know you, yeah, I'm sure they can just give us a call and ask a question. Remember, the Maghrib Azan is going to be 9:01 today. Maghrib Azan, so we can be live till 9 o'clock without any problems as well. Young children can call in, can't they?
Yeah, I love it. That's the bit. I love it when children call because it's so innocent, and sometimes they can ask such deep, meaningful questions without even realizing what they've asked.
Exactly.
So yeah, children like
Something we should say. Obviously, the theme is around
Yeah.
poetry. So come on, let's give somebody a task out there.
Right? I don't know. Maybe we could do a poetry competition. Whoever, if your viewers, your listeners, sorry, send in their work, the winner will get a signed copy of this book. Cameras there, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, signed copy of this book, the one I'm touching.
Right. Okay. I'll just put it a bit closer. Right. Anybody listening out there, anybody sends in a little bit of poetry within the next 20 minutes.
Within the next 2 days.
All right.
We can do it over the weekend.
All right.
And then
Okay.
I can post the book.
Oh, that's fine. There we go. That's the book there. It's called Men of Words 2013. Okay, there you go. So if anybody in the next 2 days sends in a bit of poetry,
if we make the deadline, I don't know, let's say Sunday, like the weekend.
Yeah, and then what we will.
Yeah, if all the submissions are sent in,
yeah,
I'll have a look and I'll pick my favorite one.
Yeah, because they, they're in Ramadan. There's a few people. Remember, they sent in a bit of poetry in the month of Ramadan, and I'm sure they'll be sending it in also in Ramadan this year. But if you're listening, then inshallah, to win a signed copy of Awkash Men of Words 2013, then you can also take part in it. All you have to do is contact myself, put the submission in. You can either just give it to me in hand, or email it, or inbox it, or tweet it, or whatever. And many means these days of getting in touch. So easy, isn't it? It's very easy. Personally, I remember the days of Telegram. I'm sure you won't remember those days, but those days I still remember. And these days, now we've got the WhatsApp call as well. It was all right enough talking just on chat on WhatsApp, but now you can have a phone conversation.
I think it came out last month.
Just last month. I didn't even know. One day I just got a really funny looking kind of feature, and I thought, what is this? It's not Viber, it's not Skype. I've never had this. And
just to confirm, this is not a WhatsApp advert.
This is not a WhatsApp advert. But it took me by surprise, and I thought, oh no. Anyway, and then I found out that there's been an update, and there we go. So these days to get in touch is very easy. Talking about the WhatsApp call, you've got to be very careful now when you click onto somebody's picture, because the picture and that call, if you've got thick fingers, you're in trouble. Believe me. A lot of people, because I get a lot of missed calls on there, and it just proves that they click onto your picture, so you always get caught out. So avoid the picture, or have a pin or something, or a touch little pen or something to. That's anyway. Back to the subject, poetry.
WhatsApp available on Apple and Android.
Right, there you go. Free advertising on Al Mubarak Radio. Right, Subhanallah, we got a message here. Salams listening in Keithley. We've got a message here from Keithley, and I'm getting quite a lot of new numbers from Keithley, because there's a family out there, Haji Aslam, who loves nasheeds, and he loves Naats. He's a very, I would say, a young, old gentleman. He's a good friend of mine, and I'm sure he's listening. And in Keithley, I have to say, he is spreading to all his fellow, friends and people around the community, telling everybody to listen on the app and website. So we're getting quite, I'm noticing this. So anyway, Keithley.
I hope the people from Keithley are keenly listening.
Yeah, Keithley keenly. That's poetry, isn't it? Yes. That is live poetry in motion. There we go. Right. Okay, we've got another message. I get inboxes on for the show on my Instagram as well. Right. So Instagram, Al Mubarak Radio UK. Okay, everybody follow us. Subhanallah, I've got 2 friends added to mine. Anyway, right. Okay, what's this message? Let me scroll down. Salam, is Umar Isa live? Right. No, this is not Umar Isa. This is Brother Aukash. Okay, his name is Brother Aukash, and he's from Cambridge. He's 18 years old, and he is a poet. Mashallah, he's just finished his exams at the university in London,
Kingston,
in
yeah.
Kingston, London, isn't
Yeah,
it?
Kingston.
I've seen that university many years ago.
Yeah.
I had a friend actually who used to study there in when I was 18 or 19,
Yeah.
and we went down towards that end. So anyway, Jazakan, that message coming from Birmingham, by the way. So
Oh, nice.
mashallah, people listening also in the Birmingham
I was
areas
in
as well.
actually Unity FM Birmingham, a radio station in Birmingham.
Unity FM,
Unity FM, yeah,
yes,
very big in
yes,
Birmingham.
yes, they are.
No, not as
Alhamdulillah.
good as Al Mubarak.
Of course,
They're
nothing
not
can
bad.
beat Al Mubarak Radio. This is the number one radio, Alhamdulillah, up north anyway. We have, Alhamdulillah, been here, what, since 2009, believe it or not. How old were you in 2009?
2009, I was 13.
13
I
years old.
turned 13 in August 2009.
Subhanallah. You just, like, growing up, you just come out
Yeah.
of, just come into your teens.
Yeah.
And that's when Al Mubarak Radio. You haven't seen my old studio yet, have you?
I know. I believe that was the one where I first appeared on. I think it was a temporary studio. Actually, I'm not sure.
No, that was with somebody else. But my original studio, I made it in at the really back end of my house.
Oh no, I didn't.
You haven't seen that, as you, and that is the original Al Mubarak studio. That's going to become a museum one day. We're going to turn it into a museum one day. The original Al Mubarak studio, because from there the journey's gone on. Alhamdulillah, you've seen all the setup here, and hopefully in Ramadan when you come, by the way, hopefully you're going to be very impressed by the whole layout of because we're putting a nice, beautiful backdrop into the studio, etc. So to get, obviously, when we are streaming live, to get more.
Honestly, yeah, I'm really looking forward to. I appreciate you always giving me advertisement and compliments.
No. Anyway,
as a guest, seeing the station grow the way it has is just immense, especially at the speed which it has all happened. It really is amazing.
But it's through effort, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah,
yourself, you're involved in your work of poetry. I mean, for me, when I see somebody like you, young, who's enthusiastic, I can see the hunger. I can see the passion in what you do. I mean, come on, to come from Cambridge all the way up north, okay, for TV and photo shoots, and it's not easy. You're leaving home, and for me, I would always, go out of my way. You won't believe. Just today, Akash, there has been around, I would say, since I've been in the studio since 9 o'clock in the morning. Okay, I finished my show around, I say, 11:30. I've had 3 meetings, and again within those 3 meetings, it's people who want to, like the hunger they have in what they're doing, and I always go out of my way, and this is the way I've always been, and I would love to see people succeed, and I would love more people to come forward, because Akash, you've got to answer this honestly. You're only 18, but every single person within them holds a quality of what I mean. All right, not everybody can be a poet, but they will have a certain quality in them that they can
make a huge success out of
and inspire others. You get me? So I mean, not everybody can be a presenter as well. Not everybody can be the best Quran reciter or the best nasheed artist, but everybody has been given a quality to utilize in their life. So I mean, like yourself, you're doing it. If you want, if you didn't have the passion, you would not be moving from one town, city every single day, would you?
I wouldn't have the motivation for it, but I think that's the problem these days. There's so much potential out there, but people just aren't willing to put the effort in. They'd rather just take the easy path, work 9 to 5 for 40 years of their life, 40 hours a week, just to retire on 40% of their income. And I think that's, if you've got that sort of mentality and you're happy with it, then fair enough. But if you really want to make success out of yourself, you have to go out of your way. You have to, do emails. You have to pursue people.
And the key word I would like to use, sorry to interrupt you there, but belief. We've got to believe in ourselves. If I don't wake up every morning believing I can make this radio a success,
Yeah.
it's not going to happen. I've got to wake up every single day with belief and with the same hunger I started the radio station with.
Yeah. I think that's a big thing you touched on, hunger. I think
Yeah,
because when you're starting something,
yeah.
everybody's very hungry.
Very
But
hungry.
once you get a little bit of success, you just
Yes.
sort of relax
Yeah,
a bit.
once you do that, you're going downhill.
Yeah.
You get me? So I'm giving you my own
Yeah.
example, and I hope everybody in their own fields, it comes in use to you guys, that every morning show I've got to sit here thinking that this is my very first show.
Yeah.
You get me? That is the only way you will have, and you will always show hunger. Otherwise, like what you just said, if I woke up in the morning, I think, look at that, I'm gonna
Yeah.
have a line this morning, or I'm gonna take it easy.
Yeah.
I'll go in when I feel like, or they can wait, if they want a show, etc.
Yeah.
No, you have to have the hunger and belief in anything you do in life. And this, we've got to also educate our children. I'm sure a lot of parents are listening. We've got to educate our youth, our children, as they're growing up, because Akash, believe me, you guys are so lucky. You've got so much going on these days. I mean, back when I was your age,
Yeah.
we didn't have anything. There was no computers. There was no communication.
Mm.
It was just you do it with, it was all manual, if you know what I
Yeah.
mean. There was no apps in those days.
Yeah.
There was no mobile phones in those days.
Yeah.
Everything was just verbal communication. These days, one tweet, one Facebook message,
Yeah.
one Instagram, or all the social media plays
Yeah.
a huge part. The YouTube as well.
Yeah.
There's so much
YouTube's
going
massive.
on. A video you can put up, you can reach out to millions of people in just one go.
Yeah.
So what I'm really trying to say to everybody out there who's listening is, you guys are very, very lucky to be having all of this. So utilize what the good qualities you have, put that all in to all the things of today, and boom,
Yeah.
you, for a person in the 80s, right, it would take him a lifetime to get known.
Yeah.
But now, we're finding that people can get known over just like one WhatsApp
Yeah.
message.
Pretty much. Yeah. I think I mentioned it last time on the show as
There
well
you
that
go.
before you had to send a letter, it'd take 3 days for the
Yes.
letter to get sent, and then you
Yes.
might get a response in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah.
Because now it's just a WhatsApp message and you get a reply instantly.
Exactly.
It's just very quick
It's
now.
very, very quick. And even these days now, email. I mean, come on, it's on your phone. It's like a
Yeah.
message coming to your phone.
It is essentially.
You
Yeah.
reply straight away. They've got the answer. They reply back to you. So, for youngsters these days, it's very, very easy. Now, I'm not just saying, like I mentioned, you don't have to be a poet. You could be in whatever fields
Yeah.
you're good at, but you don't give up, do you? I mean,
Yeah.
has there been times in your career, and I have to say a short career, because
Yeah.
you've been only doing it for 3 years?
Yeah.
There's been times, you woke up and thought, why do I bother?
Yeah.
Or is this for me? I mean, have you ever felt like
it
that?
used to happen, I'd say, most after I just appeared on television for the first time. Appearing on television, brought a lot of positives in my life, but it sort of it brought a lot of negatives inside as well.
Yeah.
Pushed quite a few people away from me. And I remember for a few months after appearing on telly for the first time that I thought, what, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe this isn't the path I should take. But I'm glad I didn't, let those thoughts get to me. But of course, as you say, there are days when you just think, what, really, is it worth it? Do I want to travel 160
Yeah.
miles just to be on Al Mubarak?
Yeah.
Of course, not for this show. I
Right.
never have that question.
Right.
But there are days where you think, is it really worth it making that journey? Is it
Right.
really worth it sending that email? And yeah, you can get lackluster. But I personally never let that stuff get onto me. I love driving.
Yeah.
I love touring around the country. Hopefully one day the world as well.
Inshallah.
So it's something I enjoy. But there are people out there who traveling is a big issue for them. But for me, the job that I'm in is it's a lot of fun.
There you go.
A lot of pressure, but a lot of fun.
And you get to meet a lot of people.
Yeah.
And by meeting people, you become wise. Why? Because you're learning of people as
Yeah.
well. Anywhere you probably go, everybody will have a different approach, a different a message.
Yeah.
I'm sure you when you go to events, other than your poetry,
Yeah.
there will be other poets. So you're
Definitely.
learning as well. You will be meeting senior people who would be in the category of your teachers.
Yes.
Because for everything in life, you're always a learner. You can never ever in anything stop learning. Even if you go right to the top of your poetry, and whoever is at the top at number one, I mean, even that person right now will be saying that I'm learning something new.
Yeah, you're never too young to teach and never too old to learn.
There you go. You see, so this is what it's all about, learning, and you will always keep meeting people. So traveling is a very, and remember when you travel abroad, and when you did mention, and inshallah you do get to travel the world through what you're doing, you will meet different walks of life. I mean, here obviously there's one culture, one type of way of living, etc. We see, but example, your poetry would expand much more. I'll just give you an example. If you went to the suburb of India or Pakistan or Bangladesh, which is in our Asian countries, and there, if you were in your thoughts of poetry, your poetry would change dramatically, instantly. Why? Because of the situation you're seeing.
And it gives you a different perspective on life as well.
Exactly.
And meeting people from a different culture,
There
you can
you go.
always
Yes.
it's like almost like being in a classroom again. There's so much to learn.
There you go. That you see, so a lot, so you never ever, uh, learning as well, right? Got a few more messages here. Salams, listening from Dewsbury. There we go. Jazakallah khair for sending in your message from Dewsbury. The listening. Remember, you can also watch this live on our website. Just go on to www.almubarakradio.com, and there's a little tab which says watch live. You can see the young figure of mashallah Awkash. I'm sure you really don't want to see me, but mashallah, I'm sure brother Awkash you would love to see as well. And also mashallah, I got another message from Preston as well whilst we were talking, and just saying salams, listening, mashallah, inspirational talks going on. There we go. So at least inspired somebody out there. And just like your cousin, if anybody else would like to call in, the studio number is 01924 472 776. That's 01924 472 776. Right. Okay. So from now till Ramadan, what's your plans?
Well, I'm filming for Women's Hour tomorrow. It's a show which isn't just for women, as the name would suggest, which is for television. And then I have a photo shoot for a new suits company on Thursday. And then it's unconfirmed yet, but on Friday, I'm, of course, going to a school in North London, as I mentioned before.
Yeah.
And then after that, I'm booked in, hopefully, I'm in talks with 2 or 3 more schools to do a few talks and a few radio appearances. And I'm in touch with 2 different channels as well, mainstream channels. I can't say the name, but I'd rather not. I'm in touch with 2 mainstream channels, and hopefully, if that works out, then that would probably be the highlight of my year after appearing on here. But so yeah, I'm very busy. I have a lot of things to commit to, but I'm excited.
Yes, of course, you have every right to be excited.
Yeah.
At the age of 18, mashallah, doing all of this, and it's not easy traveling as well, I'm sure. Because you see, end of the day, wherever, example, even if you stay in a hotel, or you're being accommodated by your host, it's still not home, is it?
It's not.
It's not. You never ever get that true feeling of home.
And plus, because I'm now in like a media world, you could say. I don't know about you, but do you ever feel paranoid that you might just go into like a new host or someplace and they might have like a hidden camera there?
Yeah,
it happens.
It happens. Believe me,
camera
it happens.
pranks are always. I'm a bit curious,
I always check as well.
Yeah.
I always check, and also there's a lot of paparazzi around me as well, so I've got to be careful what you'd say, what you do as well, and also like you say in the rooms, etc. There could be a camera, mic, or anything. Put there as well, so you have to be careful. That is very, very true. Right, at the time just leaving 8:55 p.m. Everybody listening to Al Mubarak Radio right now, remember this program is officially sponsored and partnered by Interpal as well. We have brother Awkash who is here all the way from Cambridge as well. We will be doing the show for the next 5 minutes as well. Please do text, WhatsApp your message to encourage also young Aukash here as well. Our regular listeners would love that. Just some inspirational, encouraging words would be nice to also send Aukash, back to wherever he's going from here. I'm sure his journey is quite long because he has a lot more programs, events happening. So he will be returning back home hopefully by weekend or so. So anyway, send your messages in. Aukash, if you have to mention a poetry.
Yeah, I was actually just flicking through my notes on my phone the other day, and I thought, why not do an old poem of when I was young,
Right.
considering, we have such youthful listeners. And I actually just bumped into a poem called Stereotyping.
Right.
And this is a poem I believe I recited when I was on TV for the second time.
Okay.
So I think I was still 16. I was 15 when I wrote the poem, but I recited it on air when I was 16, or maybe I had just turned 17. And it's called Stereotyping, and it goes like this. Stereotyping is a disease. Its target are those from overseas, and causing havoc is its pleas. Stereotyping is unfair. Hurting others is its prayer, whether you're here or there. Stereotyping is a shame. It only has one aim, and that is to blame. Stereotyping is a problem and a cause, which has no reasons or laws, and is filled with 1,000,001 flaws.
Subhanallah. And you made that up all by yourself, yeah?
When I was 15, yeah.
And that at the age of 15, there you go. I don't think I could have wrote it any better.
Thanks.
I don't think so. Anyway, for the next time, I'll have to come up with a little bit of poetry because we'll have more time.
Yeah.
In Ramadan when you come, inshallah, we'll have 2 hours. So even I'll have a go. How's that in Ramadan?
Perfect.
And even I'll have a go of making my, poetry. So as they say, poetry in motion.
Yes.
Okay, live on Al Mubarak Radio, and I'm sure our listeners will be listening to that program. So I can have a go. I'd like to do a bit of poetry as well because I have a lot of passions for nasheeds.
Yeah.
I have a very
you
very
told me
strong
that.
passion. So that is poetry, isn't it? That's
Yeah,
poetry, whether it's in Urdu, English, or
Yeah.
whatever. It doesn't have to rhyme. Also, I think
Yeah,
we
it
talked
doesn't,
about that.
Yeah.
We talked about that on the last show you were
Yeah.
in. It doesn't have to rhyme.
As long as there's a rhythm and it has a good meaning to it,
Yes,
nice flow,
yeah.
a rhyme is just a bonus.
Have you ever considered like doing like a rap thing, a rap?
To be honest, it's not really for me. I'm quite shy. I'm quite reserved in that sense. But who knows where life takes me. 2
Right.
years ago, I wouldn't have been modeling for a suit company, and now I
Right.
am. So I don't know. Maybe in the future it'll be something, but it's not something which is on my mind right now.
Right.
Unless the record label is out there willing to offer me, then get in touch.
There you go. There you go. Get in touch with Brother Aukash. Sign him up. Okay, there you go. I'm his manager, by the way. So Aukash,
50-50 split.
all the cuts, 50-50. Agent Mr. Al Mubarak. I play a lot of roles on my show.
Yeah.
In the morning, I'm a chef. Then when it comes to the health tips, I'm Dr. Al Mubarak. Then I'm Chef Al Mubarak. So I can get into any role. So right now, obviously, I'm interviewing. So I'm presenting. So I'm, what do they say?
Host.
No, I'm the host and the DJ Al
Yeah.
Mubarak as well. So many roles of Al Mr. Al Mubarak. So Agent Al Mubarak has just been added to all of the others as well. So please do get in touch. And I'm sure you can mention also, just before we go off air for the Adhan for Maghrib, also you can mention your social feeds. I'm sure people who want to follow.
Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I've got a very unique name. Just put in Aukash, Aukash, and the display picture is a black and white picture.
Right,
You'll recognize
AUK,
me. Aukash.
AUKSAH.
Aukash.
Right, AUKASH. That's on
Yeah.
Twitter, on Facebook, and
Instagram,
Instagram
yes.
as well. So if you just type that in on any, then you will see a black and white photograph.
Yes.
I think you just tweeted before the show as well.
Yeah.
So I did retweet that. So,
I'm the guy with the fat eyebrows.
right.
if you don't
Okay.
recognize
So
that.
anyway, make sure you give a follow. And I would like to say personally as well, from myself, for you to get in touch all the time when you're up north and get in touch. And yourself, anytime you are here, then you're welcome. You don't
I
need an
appreciate it.
invitation. Just let me know in advance, like you always
Yeah.
do, and we can always accommodate. And
Perfect.
give you
I
that
appreciate
airtime.
what the show's done for
No,
me.
I want to see, inshallah, personally, I want to see you grow. I want to see you succeed and make something of yourself. And inshallah, hopefully, example, you've been coming on like 3 years.
Yeah.
Inshallah, I want to see in the next 3-4 years as well, hopefully, where you've gone from here to the next 3-4 years. So this way, we're seeing you grow in a way.
It's nice to have that, connection.
Yeah,
It's
of course. And
very
I mean,
good.
it's like you're growing every time
Yeah.
I've seen you. I mean, next year when you'll come around this time, you're going to be 19.
Yeah.
So it'll be another year in the life of poet Awkash as well.
Yes.
Anyway, that's all we do have time for, Mr. Awkash. Jazakumullah khair for coming onto our show.
My pleasure.
There we go. Jazakumullah khair. Brothers and sisters, we're coming up to the Maghrib Azan. Also, I would like to say a big Jazakallah khair to all the listeners. Let's all make a very, very short dua before the Azan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all of our efforts. Anything that we do it for the pleasure of our Creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And also, whatever mistakes that we may have done throughout the day, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive our sins. Let's make dua for the whole ummah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala helps and assists all the people of Nepal and all the people that are undergoing any problems, and also make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the country of Sham and absolutely everywhere in the world where people are ill, and for all those people who have left this world, may Allah grant them Jannatul Firdaus. We're going for the Azan for Maghrib. Brothers and sisters, inshallah, we'll be live in about 15-20 minutes or so again. So keep listening. Until then, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Fi amanillah.